Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking the video. It means a lot that you guys keep clicking. If you guys keep clicking, I'll keep making. And today we're gonna start a new series called Stalking 42, where we take a look at one Survivor 42 cast member every day until we get through all 18 players. We're gonna look at their pregame interviews. We're going to look at their social medias and try and get a sense for how they may do on the show and if they could possibly win the game. And today we're going to be looking at Omar Zahir, who is on the Orange Taku tribe. He's an exotic animal veterinarian, so he works on exotic animals, and he's a doctor for those animals. And he's 31 years old. He was born in Kitchener, Ontario, which is hilarious, and he lives in Whitby, Ontario, which is even more hilarious. And so he's one of the three Canadian players on this season, which may be a good connection for him to have because people can bond over being from the same place. So maybe he can connect with the other. I think he might have one on his tribe. In fact, I think he does have one on his tribe in Marianne, because I believe Marianne is also on his tribe. So maybe he can use that pre-game connection from where he's from to help him out in the game. So let's just take a look at his Instagram first. So obviously, right off the bat, you can tell from his bio that he's very passionate about animals and about veterinarians and about the ability to be able to care for animals. He like all of his posts on Instagram are him holding up an animal, him talking about animals, him talking about like an animal like protest. Or some sort of thing about an organization that protects animals, facing some turmoil or facing, being closed, and then him setting up petitions. It's all about animals, everything. I mean, he literally has 10 animal emojis in his bio, like that. He's all about his job. He obviously really cares about it. He's also, it seems to me like I'm seeing a lot of pictures with families. So this guy's obviously a big family man. But what makes me worried is his Survivor Instagram announcement where he, I really, the best way that I can phrase it is that I feel like there's two different types of Survivor announcements on people's social media. And I think that these two types are, one, there's players who are like, I am so excited now that the cast is revealed that I can share with you guys that I got to live out my dream on Survivor. And the other type is, guys, I'm playing on this season. I'm going to be a player on this season. I feel like people who say like I got the opportunity to play or I lived out my dream, I feel like those are people who went out early, because you're saying like you're focusing more on the fact that you got to play and you like just got on the cast, and that's like your big feat. Whereas in the players, like for example, when Nora announced that she was on the cast, she was saying, okay guys, like I'm gonna be on this next season, like I couldn't tell you, but I'm going to be a player on the season. Whereas in the way that this guy's talking makes me very unconfident. I just think that when people say like, oh, I'm just so thankful for even having the opportunity to be on the show, that it really gives off these, I'm just happy to even have been there vibes, which to me shows that he probably went early. Again, this is just me kind of going off of a gut choice, but again, you can disagree. All right, let's move to his Twitter. Okay, so his Twitter, to me, I'm gonna do it live, so I'm not gonna go through and pick out tweets. I feel like that's kind of boring. He is posting about animals a lot, which is, kind of hard part of the course. It was also kind of how his Instagram was set up, where it's all about animals, and I'm saddened to hear about, insert animal care center here closing down. He's all about veterinarians and animals. It's like literally every single post is about a vet or an animal. He also talks about his worshiping of the Islam religion. He's very, very passionate about that. Oh, here we go. He says, the Carol Baskin hate is born out of misogyny. Whether she should pay her employees, but she's not a monster like Joe. Okay, so I guess for those who may be watching who are like, who is Carol Baskin? I don't really know her that well, but I did watch part of the Tiger King documentary, and she is a character in this entire big legal situation. She's basically like a crazy person. She's not like a bad person, but she is definitely like nuts, and she is people don't hate Carol Baskin because she's a woman. They hate her because she's nuts. I mean, she's nuts. There's rumors that she killed her husband. Yeah, it's a lot. But he's claiming that because she's a woman, I guess because of misogyny, that's why people hate her, which I think is pretty silly and kind of reaching. But I'm not really gonna come after him like that. Like, it's whatever. Like, you can have bad opinions, so whatever. Who cares? And it literally has one life for a reason. I'm actually kind of proud like that he doesn't post a lot of content that is political on his Twitter. In fact, I have yet to find one political tweet other than this little mention of misogyny. But besides that, there really isn't much, and unless I'm just scrolling over it by accident. So on his Twitter, I think we're clear of woke stuff on his Twitter. I did not scroll far back on his Instagram, so maybe it's there, but it's definitely not on his Twitter. Okay, so now we have his EW bio, which I did cover in my 42-minute video, which I'll put in the top right corner of the screen, where I went through all of their bios, but I'll cover his again. So Omar is from Kitchener, Ontario. He still lives in Ontario. So yeah, so he is an Ontario person for sure. His hobbies are training animals, Settlers of Catan, which let's just look up Settlers of, because I think I did this before. Like, yeah, I did. But I'll look it up again because I forgot. But it's some sort of like kind of nerdy game. Shout out Settlers of Catan. I mean, if you play that, maybe that's really good for you. And he likes watching TV. Wow, that is just so quirky. Oh my god, I know. 3 words to describe you: silly, empathetic, and shameless, which is interesting. People who complain about the cost of vet care are his pet peeves, as well as rudeness, feeding seeds to parrots, Jim Grunters, Joey from Friends, which again, if you haven't caught up yet, these two are alluding to like the macho men stereotype. Like he doesn't like manly men that much. The fact that mini weeds have gelatin, when people talk bad about pigeons, in institutional racism. Which is like what a terrible transition. Like, bro, like, you are so smooth. Oh my god. I'm not even gonna get into like how silly that is. I'm not gonna get into a deep convo about how institutional racism is not real. But again, let's just move on for the sake of time. What is the accomplishment you're most proud of? I'm most proud of setting my mind to become an exotic animal specialist from undergrad. It's difficult, blah, blah, blah. He's talking about how the avian exotic residency has the lowest admission rate. He's proud of maintaining his Muslim values while living in a Western world, abstaining from pork, alcohol, and premarital sex. Wow, man. I mean, that just must be so... That, I mean, with that rockin' bod, no, I'm joking. Okay, that's a bad joke. Okay, okay, so mean. Somebody said he says his hero is his father. He says he has many shortcomings, and he's definitely someone who he would consider a hero. He had a lot of love for his children, and even through some of his poor choices, that always shine through. So it seems like he has this undermining like dislike for his dad, while still like caring about him and still being like happy that his dad cared for him. He seems to have this underlying like disdain for his dad. I don't know. It's weird. I think he sees more or less of this disdain towards his older sister and younger sister. But I don't know. It's very interesting for sure. He says he wants to play like, yes, Rob Cesternino, of course. Which he says that he knew when to shift the game. He also made people feel comfortable with humor. He says he wants to be a confessionalist like Suri feels with her sit, wait, and strike strategy, and he wants to have the sass and strategical game of Tyson and the social skills of Kim Spradlin, which of course, right? And then he says the laser focus of Natalie Anderson. So some of those I like. I don't like this Kim Spradlin one. I don't like the Tyson one. I don't think that those games are repeatable. I think that games like Cerise are repeatable. I think that games like Natalie Anderson are definitely repeatable. It says, why do you believe that you can be the sole survivor? That he says that he can adapt and that he's looking at to nature and Darwin's theory of evolution and seeing how the fittest survive. but the fittest may not be the lion in every. Okay, so yeah, this guy is really weird with his animal metaphors. I'm sure that we'll get a lot of those confessionals with him talking about how he's a lion and everybody else is like a tiger or whatever. But here is his casting video. So this is his, well, not his casting video, but his pre-game like little bio video. It's about 45 seconds long, and it just gives you a little bit more as to who he is as a person, separate from his social media. So here it is. It should be like 55 seconds long. Here we go.
My name is Omar Zahir, and I'm an exotic animal veterinarian. A veterinarian, they never know what to expect because you're always working with different types of animals, especially within the exotic field, because you could come in one day and see a tiny 18-gram canary with a broken leg that you have to like use your micro tools, or the next day you could have your arm shoved up a rhino's butt. It's all about not panicking, staying calm. You never know what to expect, and that's just like Survivor. I'm gonna treat these people like, oh, you're a guinea pig, you're a rabbit, you're a bird, you're a snake, and try to suss out who they are. I'll be moldable because you have to meet the pressures around you, otherwise you'll go extinct. But I always have my eye on the prize. I want them to see me as someone kind of stupid, you know, a very simple animal, like maybe like a pigeon that doesn't really know what's going on. It's just there to have fun. But really, I want to be like a predatory bird that'll strike them when they least suspect.
And so it does show a bit more of him. I think it's just more of the same stuff that we've already seen from his bios. To me, overall, just like looking at his personality, it seems that he's one of these people who is definitely more like wearing his personality on his sleeve. I will admit I am surprisingly shocked in a positive way about how not out there he is about his politics. Although I can kind of tell just by side comments that he's made, as well as individual social media posts, that he is definitely more of the woke type. But I can definitely appreciate his lack of spewing it on social media, unlike some other players that we'll be talking about in this upcoming week. Speaking of this upcoming week, again, this series will continue. I want to get to all 18 players, but if we have to skip some, then we have to skip some. I believe as of filming this, we have 24 days left until the season airs, and we have 18 castaways to get to. So if I do skip over one or two, it should be okay. We'll at least get to most of the cast. I can't tell you who the next person is going to be in this series, although I think I have a few ideas. So you guys will just have to stay tuned to the next one to find out who will be the next person who gets their own video. Who do you guys want to get the next video? Who do you guys want from the 42 cast for me to break down and look through? Again, none of this happens without you guys. Without you guys, I'm just a weird guy speaking into a weird microphone. And if that's all, I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.